Hello, and welcome to Creation Health. We'll begin by studying God's original plan for living life to the fullest. As it says in 3 John verse 2, God intends for us to live a prosperous and healthy life, and He has graciously outlined how this is possible by giving us the 8 essential principles of Creation Health. If you adopt a Creation Health lifestyle, you can add 10 years to your life. Not only that, but embracing these principles restores health, happiness, balance, and joy to your life, too. You will live with purpose. Your life will have meaning, and you will make a difference in the world. Turn your attention now to the first exercise. It's a self-assessment test about your personal health habits using the Health Style Index. This is a baseline test to determine your starting point. So please turn to page 252 of your study guide. These questions on the Health Style Index are focused on health-related issues, including prevention, stress, exercise, nutrition, and social support. This assessment will show you the number of good health habits you're practicing now, and then point the way to even more health improvement opportunities. Please pause the video now to take the self-assessment. Welcome back. Did you give yourself some time for reflection to consider how you did? Well, regardless of how you're feeling right now, whether good or badly, we have a lot in store for you. From the very beginning, God intended us to live a full life. Creation Health is about wellness. It's about filling our lives with health, happiness, hope, and peace. With this in mind, let's jump into this study on choice, the first letter in the Creation Health acronym. Now, making healthy choices is the key to improving your life. In fact, it's the starting point from which everything else flows. Choice is the first step toward improving your well-being. After all, before positive change can be achieved, we must deliberately choose to do so. By exercising our power of choice, we intentionally commit ourselves and direct our energies to do that which is most important. We are what we choose, whether we make choices intentionally or unintentionally. Our choices reflect who we are and what we believe. So, which direction are your choices taking you? What's one good choice you're glad you made today? What's one choice today you wish you could do over? Choice is a gift from God, and right now, you are only one choice away from a better life. Choice is the first step toward improved health. Making healthy choices is the key to improving all areas of our life, and it can be as simple as starting with choosing to smile. Research has shown that smiling is good for our health. So deciding to have a cheerful countenance can create a merry heart and generate amazing changes in the brain itself. For example, voluntarily making a certain kind of smile triggers some of the same physiological responses in the brain that have been associated with positive feelings. This smile, called a Duchenne smile, is created using the muscles around the eyes, unlike the fake cheese smile, which uses the zygomatic muscles and does not produce positive emotion. This is one very simple thing that we can do today to feel happier and more positive. Let's take a few minutes to explore the scientific research behind the power of choice and what it means for our lives today.
How big of a problem would it be for a pilot flying from Seattle to San Francisco to be just 1 degree off course? Well, he would wind up missing the airport by 10 miles. 1 degree doesn't seem like much, but in the end, it takes us somewhere completely different. Our choices are like headings on a compass. If our choices are off by even just a little bit, we can miss our final destination by miles. 1 degree, one choice is hardly noticeable, but if left uncorrected, we'll end up where we never wanted to be. The ability to choose is powerful. Correctly used, unlimited opportunity is ours. By consistently making the best choices, we become unstoppable. It unleashes our vast potential, and life becomes a satisfying journey of abundant happiness. During this Creation Health presentation on choice, we'll learn about the physiology of choice, the importance of making good choices, how to strengthen our frontal lobe functioning in order to make better decisions, and the trustworthy principles that lead to dynamic living. Dr. Winnie King explores the issues and techniques for staying on course by consistently making the best choices.
The power of choice is one of the strongest forces on earth. It has the ability to build up and the potential to tear down. Are you using your power of choice for good? The power of choice is located in a part of the brain called the frontal lobe. This is the mind's seat of authority. It's the brain's decision center. The powers of judgment, reasoning, social norms, and long-term planning all come from here. Most creatures have this brain function, but we find something very different in humans regarding the size of the frontal lobes. For instance, in dogs, the frontal lobes comprise just 7% of their brain, and it's 17% in chimps. But in humans, the frontal lobes take up more than a third of the brain's total area. And this tells us that our reasoning and planning capabilities are intricate, powerful, and complex. Unlimited opportunity awaits those who harness this power by making the wisest choices. The power to choose is having the opportunity and ability to evaluate multiple options and then selecting the one we prefer. Every day, we make choices intentionally and unintentionally. Deciding to take action requires us to exercise our power of choice. Doing nothing is also a decision. Living by design or by default is a choice. We either shape circumstances or we are shaped by them. It's our God-given privilege to take responsibility for our lives and align our choices with our values, beliefs, and dreams. The first step toward improving our life is deliberately choosing the better choice in the moment of decision. Having the ability to choose is motivating, and it creates numerous physical and psychological benefits. For example, residents in a certain nursing home were given more control of their lives and extra choices. They were told they could have omelets or scrambled eggs for breakfast, but that they would have to choose the night before. They could watch movies on Wednesday or Thursday night, but they would have to sign up in advance. They were shown plants from which to choose one for their room and were instructed to water and take care of it themselves. Residents on another floor of the same nursing home, however, weren't allowed to choose what they wanted for breakfast. Neither were they offered the opportunity to sign up to see a movie. Movies were just shown. Lastly, they were given a plant for their room, and the nurse took care of it for them. The researchers were studying how the ability to choose and a sense of control affects people. The residents who were given choices and a sense of control were more alert. They participated more and felt better. Additionally, fewer people in this group had died 18 months later. This astonishing fact indicates that choice and control have a positive impact on our longevity.
Let's try another exercise. Please see the skill builder on page 8 of your seminar personal study guide. This exercise is called Thinking Out of the Box. First, remember in the video, Dr. King mentions that we either shape circumstances or we are shaped by them. This skill builder will help you realize that your ability to make intentional choices is learned behavior that may take some practice. Choose a situation or dilemma you're facing right now and determine 3 options on how to handle it. Make your choice to take action. Later on, see how it impacted you. It may take further action. Think of this as a homework assignment that may take a few weeks. Pause the video now to get started on this exercise. Glad to have you back. How did it go? Could you think of 3 options? So often, we focus on the bad, thinking that the one option we have considered is the only one. We hope you found a better one in this exercise. If you'd like to take a break, now's a good time. Or if you want to keep going, great. Anytime throughout the lesson, you may stop and then continue the lesson at your convenience. You may want to make a note of where you left off using the time display at the bottom. See you later. Welcome back. We hope you're refreshed and ready to see more of the video. Through choice, we direct our will. So we must choose wisely because our choices determine the course of our lives. For instance, 9 of the 10 leading causes of death are related to lifestyle choices. God gave freedom of choice at creation. Thomas Jefferson once said, "Freedom is the right to choose, the right to create for oneself the alternatives of choice. Without the possibility of choice, a man is not a man, but a member, an instrument, a thing." In a study involving choice and control among nursing home residents, people were divided into 2 separate groups. On the first floor, residents were given more control through extra choices. The director told them, "I'd like you to know about all the things you can do for yourself here at Shady Grove. There are omelets and scrambled eggs for breakfast, but you have to choose the night before. Movies are shown on Wednesday and Thursday nights, but you have to sign up in advance. Finally, here are some plants. Choose one and take it to your room, but you have to water it yourself." Then the director told the second floor residents, "I want you to know what we can do for you here at Shady Grove. There are omelets or scrambled eggs for breakfast. We make omelets on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and scrambled eggs, well, we make those the other days. Movies are shown on Wednesday and Thursday nights. On Wednesday nights, residents from the right quarter attend. On Thursday nights, residents from the left quarter go. And lastly, here are some plants for your rooms. The nurse will choose one and take care of it for you." 18 months later, the researchers returned to the nursing home and found that the residents who had been given more choices and control were more active and fewer had died compared to the other group. This amazing fact suggests that choice and control positively impact longevity and that helplessness impacts it negatively. Dr. Bernie Siegel, Yale surgeon and author of the New York Times bestseller Love, Medicine, and Miracles, was interviewed about the dreaded disease of cancer. He stated that patients who get well when they're not supposed to are not having accidents or miracles or spontaneous remissions. They're experiencing self-induced healing. He goes on to say that people who choose their own therapies have fewer side effects than those who silently submit to treatment because their doctors told them to. Choice empowers because it helps the person take ownership of the situation, which in turn produces positive results. Having control and the ability to choose equals living longer and happier lives. How satisfied are you with life, with your life? Are you dissatisfied with any areas? If so, then realize that God has given you the power of choice so that you can make changes and have a life of your own. So let's see how satisfied you are with your own life. It's time for another exercise, the Satisfaction with Life Scale. Let's turn to page 249 of your guide. The Satisfaction with Life Scale has been used by researchers around the world, and it focuses on you. There are simple instructions on taking the test and determining your score. Please pause the video now to take this short test. We're back now. So, did you approach this test from a materialistic view, or did you take a spiritual approach, or both? Your score may change depending on your approach. The choice is yours. Making healthy choices means choosing good things in a balanced, moderate way and leaving out the harmful things. Whenever you're faced with a choice, ask yourself, is this beneficial to me? And if so, how beneficial? Weighing the benefits and risks does produce better decisions. By simply choosing to add more good things to your life, your life will be better and more satisfying. When you make good choices, you'll feel better because you're taking control of your life. Your health improves too.
Ever find yourself struggling to make a decision? When making choices, remember these two principles. First, bad choices cancel good choices. For example, when it comes to diet, some people give themselves a free day where they can enjoy a few guilty pleasures. Before they know it, they've had chocolate cake for lunch, Dairy Queen on the way home from work, and cookies and milk before bedtime. A string of bad choices easily cancels good choices. Reinforce good choices by reducing counterproductive ones. Enjoy a guilty pleasure, but without wiping out the excellent progress that you've made. The second principle to remember is that good choices taken to extremes create poor outcomes. A perfect example is exercise. Exercise is good, but too much is unhealthy. Hours in the gym can cause people to burn out on exercise altogether. Strive for balance and reinforce good choices by reducing or eliminating counterproductive ones.
Proverbs 24:5 says, "A wise man is strong, and a man of knowledge makes strength greater." With so many choices to make, how can we be sure to make the right ones? Gaining and applying knowledge should be a way of life. Seeking knowledge should be a way of life. We cannot responsibly go through life intellectually idle. Knowledge, when put into action, creates strength, power, and good decisions. We can increase our knowledge by reading books, watching informative programs, or wisely using the Internet for continued intellectual growth. And as a result of this personal development, we are better equipped to make wiser choices that bless us with abundant life, purpose, peace, and joy. We have a great exercise for you now called Knowledge Brings Power, and through it we'll help you find ways you can gain more knowledge. Let's turn now to page 10. First, how do we make good choices? It starts with knowledge. It's never too late to start acquiring more knowledge. In this exercise, you'll list some topics of interest you'd like to learn more about. Then you can write down some ways to enjoy gaining that knowledge. Later on, you can review this exercise to see how this knowledge has impacted you. You may want to take further action on this topic or others you have interest in. Pause the video now to complete this exercise. So how did it go? You feel smarter already? We hope you enjoy this assignment because it's a real confidence builder, especially because we seem to absorb knowledge quickly about things we're interested in. So have fun with it. If you'd like to take another break, now's a good time. Or if you want to keep going, great. Any time throughout the lesson, you may stop and then continue the lesson at your convenience. You may want to make a note of where you left off. See you later. Welcome back. We hope you're refreshed and ready to see more of the video. Another important tool when making good choices is the application of reasoning. Now, we don't always have all the information we need, so we rely heavily on exercising our reason when making good choices. Just as we should always be increasing our knowledge, we should also be improving our reasoning abilities. Take a class on logic, philosophy, debate, or classic reasoning. Meet regularly with a group of friends for engaging discussions, because the more we practice these critical thinking skills, the better we become at making good choices when relatively little information is available. We can use what we know about the situation while applying the principles we live by, such as rules we have to keep, laws we're bound by, and good old-fashioned common sense to make the best choice. Ready for another exercise? It's time now to exercise your intellectual muscles. You can sharpen your reasoning abilities using the skill builder on page 11 called Exercise Your Intellectual Muscles. Do you pay attention to current events? There are good reasons to. If choices are the result of proper reasoning, current events can help. We can use what we know about a situation and apply the principles and morals we live by, the laws of the land, and our opinions of the events. List some current events that interest you. Write down questions and opinions you have. Within the next week, meet for at least 30 minutes with someone to discuss these areas of interest. Your homework is to review this exercise in a few weeks and see how it's impacting your life. Please pause the video now to start this assignment. Glad you're back. How did you do? We hope you have fun discussing the events you chose with friends and family. Let's go back to the video now. It's essential to understand that we always have a choice. People learn to become helpless when they perceive themselves to be in a situation where they have no control. When our environment affects us negatively, our natural response is to react in a way that negates that stimulus. Now, if this is done over a period of time to no effect, we stop trying, and we learn to be helpless. According to Seligman's research, dogs who were repeatedly exposed to uncontrollable shock gave up trying to escape the shock, even after being moved the next day to a box that had been modified so that they could easily escape. You see, for these dogs, their locus of control had shifted from internal to external. Basically, they learned that their external environment and not their own decisions or behavior were determining their fate. Don't let this happen to you. Resolve to exercise your power of choice, no matter how persistent the adversity you face. This will improve your circumstances, no matter how dire they might be. An internal locus of control is linked to many health benefits in humans. This next exercise is called the locus of control assessment. It helps determine how you perceive the control you have with life's circumstances. Let's turn again to your guide, page 248. Do you feel in control of your life? Do you feel trapped? Let's take a look by taking the locus of control assessment. Just follow the simple directions and score yourself at the end. Please pause the video now. You're back. Wasn't that an interesting test? Did you take the test with God in mind? That may help you improve your internal locus of control. Let's go back to the video now and take a closer look at the frontal lobe. The frontal lobe is actually the seat of will and choice, judgment, reasoning, social norms, and long-term planning. All of these things help us to make healthy, life-giving choices. The frontal lobe makes up 3.5% of the brain of a cat, 7% in dogs, and 17% in chimps, but in humans, it's between 33 and 38%. Our highly developed frontal lobe gives us a power of choice that's unavailable to the rest of creation. Our reasoning and planning capabilities are more powerful and complex. Thus, we're able to include many more variables in the decision-making process. One of the best choices you can make is to strengthen your frontal lobe because this enables you to make wiser, better choices that lead to significant change. You see, just as plants in a garden must be cultivated in order to produce flowers or fruit, thoughts must be cultivated to produce positive results. So, cultivate happy thoughts because it does strengthen your frontal lobe. Remember, too, that carbohydrates are necessary for healthy frontal lobe function. Serotonin and tryptophan are found in carbohydrates and are powerful mood enhancers. Lastly, choose to listen to happy, uplifting music. Eliminate music that encourages negative behaviors and attitudes or puts you in a negative state of mind. Ask, how does this make me feel? What does it make me think? Choose not to expose yourself to anything negative because such things compromise your reasoning powers and your happiness. We can do certain things to strengthen the frontal lobe and improve our decision-making abilities. For example, the brain and the body are a unit. They're not separate. Thought-provoking activities strengthen the brain because they increase blood flow. Blood flow is also increased by physical activity and massage. Enhancing blood flow in general increases blood flow to the brain because the body naturally prioritizes blood flow to the brain. Sunshine sharpens the mind and reduces the stress hormone cortisol. The frontal lobe functions best when it isn't stressed. Practice disease prevention by avoiding behaviors that cause debilitating disease. Fight disease with regular exercise and healthy eating that includes good carbohydrates, adequate sleep, strong relationships, and good music. The main cause of frontal lobe damage is lifestyle habits. The common effects of a compromised frontal lobe include impairment of moral principle, social impairment or the loss of love for and by family, lack of foresight, being incapable of abstract reasoning, and depression. A compromised frontal lobe is unable to interpret proverbs, has a diminished ability for mathematical understanding, a loss of empathy, and a lack of restraint. Now, a compromised frontal lobe changes one's personality. And these changes can be minimal at first, but accumulated over time, they can become a significant life-changing factor. They can actually wreak havoc on the emotional, social, financial, spiritual, and other facets of one's life. So here are some tips for making healthy choices to enhance frontal lobe functioning. First, stay focused on what the real choice is. Don't be distracted by chaos, lack of sleep, or the demands of the people around you. Secondly, remember HALT. H-A-L-T. Do not make big decisions when you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. Remember, too, choosing wisely is easier when you choose to make one wise choice at a time. Start by spending time in thoughtful reflection about your life. Think about the kind of life you want to live, and then start taking steps to live it. When making life-changing choices, remember, you have God's power and help, as is written in Isaiah 41:10. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. When it comes to change, people often feel overwhelmed because they don't know where to begin. What they need is clarity. Here are very specific steps for getting clear about what you want and need for your life. First of all, choose to change. After all, nothing happens until you're committed. Pray for wisdom and seek God's guidance about where you should start. Next, take inventory of your life to identify what's going well and what needs improving. Using the self-assessments that are in the back of the Creation Health textbook is a great resource for accomplishing this. After you've done those three things, prioritize where you'll start by choosing only 1 to 3 areas. Doing any more will just frustrate you and probably make you feel like quitting. Second, follow through by taking action every day. And third, reinforce your choices with positive people and surroundings that support your decisions and your efforts. We suggest this process for goal setting, and you should probably consider doing it for each Creation Health principle. Set goals that are SMART: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, rewarded, and time-specific. Now, this goal-setting process brings clarity because you know what you're doing now and you're clear on what you're doing next. You'll easily see your progress, and making it time-specific by giving yourself a deadline will transform your dream into reality, if you take action. Let's get a good start on your Smart Health Action Plan with this new exercise. So take a look at page 250 of the study guide. The Smart Health Action Plan is something to keep in mind throughout all of the lessons in this entire course. The SMART Plan is a process to help you implement the specific goals you'll be setting in many other exercises. Follow 3 simple steps to get started on your first goal. Please pause the video now. We're back now. Do you have a SMART plan? We hope you take action on these initial goals. Now, in addition to the SMART method, remember HALT too. Never make important decisions or set major goals when you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. Let's hit the books one last time. We're going to give you some tips for success. For some more in-depth reinforcement, you can study the tips for success on pages 16 through 23 of your guide. First, you'll find power tips on how to make better choices. These are 11 quick tips you can review periodically to keep you on track. Next, the Who Are You tips are designed so you can know more about yourself to make wiser choices. Then you can move on to the 5 steps to making wise decisions. You can follow this easy plan to help you evaluate your options. And finally, see page 23 and the exercise called Small Group Discussions. Whether you're alone or part of a group taking this course, these are great questions to help you apply what you have learned. And remember, we all veer off course because of life's unexpected events. But when this happens, make course corrections to get back on track and choose to keep going. Always remember that you're only one choice away from living a better life. You're only one choice away from living your life to the fullest. Now hear what some of our graduates are saying after they completed the course.
Well, the most exciting part of the Creation Health Seminar, when I first read about it, was the fact that it puts the responsibility directly on our shoulders. It's our choice to accept or put to the side. And that's a good thing, because it will be a lot more effective if we choose to follow the recommendations of what Creation Health puts out. The choices that we make.
We'll close with some inspirational words from one of our authors, Dr. Monica Reed, as she answers the question, I see my doctor every year. Isn't that enough?
You know, there's a tremendous amount that we can do for ourselves. As a physician, I may see you once a year, and it may be for 15 minutes at most. That is not a way for me to really understand what's going on inside of your body day by day. But you are with yourself every single day, and the opportunities that you have to actually change your lifestyle, to eat more healthfully, to get the appropriate amount of rest, to slow down. It's those changes that have the most significant impact in your life. And so what you really want to do is begin to take responsibility for your own health and use physicians and hospitals as resources to help you on that journey. I'm there to take care of the acute illnesses, the things that you don't have control of. But once you leave the 4 walls of the hospital, it's really up to you in terms of what you can do for your own health and improving your lifestyle.
This concludes our Creation Health training on the topic of choice. As we proceed on to the next lessons, we'll continue to discuss the remaining letters in the Creation acronym. Congratulations! You're well on your way to becoming a certified Creation Health graduate. Good luck on the quiz.